Hello, Racheli.
Hi, Linda.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely being here. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like you to be able to tell me a little bit more about how you're responding to this enormous increase in the demand for our services.
I would say from this time last year to this time today, we've seen a 60% increase in new family referrals that have come to Camp Simcha.
Yes.
And obviously that needs a lot of input and a lot of resource. And we needed to respond accordingly. We recruited 3 family liaison officers who are ladies who work with me on my team, and they are the direct link for the family between what the family need and what Camp Simcha has to offer. So when a Camp Simcha family comes into the charity, it's very overwhelming. You've got so many things that you need, or not sure that you know what you need, and you need somebody to be that person holding your hand, and that's what the family liaison do in the most incredible way.
So Racheli, do you see any particular area or reason for the increase?
Well, I would say in areas that we've seen a need of our services that have really increased would be children who have been diagnosed with cancer.
Yes.
Just last week I was on a ward visiting a family, Linda, and I had quite a shock. I came home and I said, you know, there were so many beds on that children's ward of oncology that were filled with children who are part of Camp Simcha, and that's unprecedented. I've never had that feeling or seen that before in all the 28 years that I've been visiting hospitals. And children who have a serious mental health condition. In the last 6 months, that's where we've actually seen quite a bit of increase as well.
And how does it affect us on a day-to-day basis? Are there any particular services that you feel have been called on that we have a greater requirement for?
Well, like I said, 60% is a big number.
Yes.
So our annual spend has gone up hugely. I always say when a family come into Camp Simcha, they're in a crisis time.
Yes.
And that's when they need a lot of inputs, a lot of services. So the demand for services obviously increases when a child just comes into Camp Simcha. So if we look at our hospital transportation, that's just one of the services that we would offer, that there's been a huge increase in that. It's such a useful tool for parents who have other family members at home that they need to look after. I would say therapeutic support. We've really had an increase in families really needing therapeutic support, and we have been able to give that to them. I'd say our respite service is actually quite a big one that we've seen a huge demand on. Crisis meals, you know, parents who are in hospital for so long, or people who go in and think that they're coming home. I mean, I'll give you an example. We had a family who had a child who was 5 years old and who started displaying difficulty in walking. And he went to the GP with his parents and no one said anything was alarming, maybe make an appointment to see a physio. And that's kind of the route Mum took. And she had an appointment one day after school. And Linda, she went from there straight to A&E, and she hasn't been home for 8 months. This child was diagnosed with a brain tumour. And she didn't come home, and she's got like a 20-month-old little child at home. She had the bag on her arm and his rucksack from school, and that's what she had. So we heard about them immediately, and I got in touch with Mum, and I went to see her. And in those 8 months, Camp Simcha were really able to be there on the journey for them. We were very immediate with our support. We put in a family liaison officer, we put in volunteers, we put in some respite, we gave her hospital transportation because she needed to go backwards and forwards when she was able to leave him with his grandmother or his father so she can go back and see her 20-month-old at home. Crisis meals, we were able to send stuff into the hospital, food that was suitable for them. So yeah, we really have a very bespoke program because it's all about the individual family, what they need.
Thank you. And what else is new at Camp Simcha this year?
So we saw a need for us to put on a service for people, young children or young people who've had trauma and acute illness.
Yes.
We recently supported a family where there was an accident at school, and the impact that it happened, a serious accident at school with a child, and the impact that that had on the family and the knock-on effect was quite enormous, and we were able to offer support to that family quite immediately for the child who ended up being in hospital with numerous operations and being there for a long time, and then for the family who were at home, and therapeutic support for the parents. And we feel this was kind of it just seamlessly came, this kind of service. It fits into who we are.
Yes.
And I think there's a great need for it. So this
So
is
it's a
kind of our
trauma.
new trauma and acute
Trauma
illness,
support.
we'd call it, yeah.
Quite amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rahali, not just for being interviewed today, but all the wonderful work that you do for the charity. And thank you too to our wonderful supporters. Without you, we couldn't do the work. You really do make a huge difference in the lives of all these families. On their behalf, thank you.